At Clemson University, ethical leadership is more than a concept, it's a commitment. This is a story of how a vision for moral leadership became a nationally recognized institute. The Rutland Institute for Ethics began with a calling to do business, to lead, and to live with integrity. Robert J. Rutland graduated from Clemson in 1964 with a degree in industrial management. As a student, he served as a president of the Aero Club and was active in the Baptist Student Union. Decades later, his passion for ethical leadership brought him back to Clemson, not just as a student, but as a visionary. It all began with a friendship. A chance introduction between Bob Rutland and Dick Sargent blossomed into a lifelong bond, one that would ultimately shape the founding of the Rutland Institute decades later. Bob Rutland's passion for ethics became a defining attribute of his career. He served as chairman of Allied Holdings Incorporated, which was the company his grandfather founded in 1934. At the time, it was the largest transportation and logistics company serving the automotive industry. Through his company, Rutland became a pioneer in the field of industrial chaplaincy. He appointed chaplains at 120 operating locations to ensure that employees were treated with love and respect. It was because of this passion that he was invited to be a founding board member of the Southern Institute for Business and Professional Ethics, where he met then-President Dr. John Knapp, who became a key conversation partner and inspired his interest in bringing an ethics program to his alma mater.
We would try to help people facilitate and understand how you take a Christian organization and make it a successful business.
The idea for an ethics institute at Clemson began to take shape in 1997 in conversation with eventual founding board member John Knapp, when development officer Betty McClellan proposed an endowment for a chair in business ethics. At the time, ethics was already being taught in the College of Business by Harry Durham. In 1998, Robert Rutland contributed to establishing a professorship in business ethics, but his vision didn't stop there. He believed ethics should be integrated across every discipline and reach every student. By 1999, that vision gained momentum. Dean Jerry Trapnell and Mrs. McClellan began discussing how to take ethics university-wide. As original board member Dick Sargent remembers,
when Bob made the decision to work with Clemson to establish the Rutland Center for Ethics, I was invited to serve on the first advisory board as the founding director, and it's been an honor and a privilege to do that.
Later that year, Rutland made a transformative gift, launching what would become the Robert J. Rutland Center for Ethics, and eventually, the Robert J. Rutland Institute for Ethics. In 2000, a new initiative, Ethics Across the Curriculum, laid the groundwork for a center that would reach beyond the business school. By February 2001, Dr. Daniel Wieste was appointed interim director. That fall, Robert Rutland's gift was officially announced, and the Center for Ethics was born. Housed in Holzendorf Hall, the center hosted its first advisory board meeting and launched its inaugural program, the J.T. Barton Jr. Ethics Essay Scholarship Competition. The idea of ethics in every discipline was no longer just a vision. It was becoming a part of Clemson's academic DNA. Original board member Steve Barton remembers.
Jim said, I think the next big issue for America, for South Carolina and this university is going to be people learning ethics, because so many people come through the early parts of their life and get no education about that.
By 2002, the Rutland Center's presence on campus had grown into a full network of partnerships, programs, and professional development opportunities. With new institutional partners, ranging from Clemson Players to Sigma Xi and the Sustainable Universities Initiative, the center embedded ethical dialogue across departments. That spring, Brad Jones joined as administrative assistant, and the first graduate research ethics workshop kicked off a new focus on professional development. One major collaboration, the Self-Civic Fellows Program, trained future South Carolina political leaders to build trust in public life through ethical governance. Under the Ethical Life Project, students engaged with real-world dilemmas through performances and panels, starting with a powerful staging of David Mamet's Orleana during the 2002-2003 presidential colloquium. In June, educators from across the state gathered for the South Carolina Institute for Service Learning and Ethics, a summer program that helped high school and technical college instructors bring ethics into their teaching. That fall, Clemson hosted the National Society for Ethics Across the Curriculum Conference, chaired by Director Dan Wieste, exploring how science and technology intersect with ethical learning across disciplines. And by November, the center launched an online research library to support inquiry into ethics for students and faculty across the state. In 2003, the Rutland Center found its physical home. Renovations were completed on the second floor of Hardin Hall, a historic building at the heart of campus, transforming the space into a permanent home for ethics at Clemson. In August, the center announced a new partnership with the Southern Institute for Business and Professional Ethics, expanding its regional reach. On November 6th, the center was officially opened in a ceremony attended by President James Barker, Dean Jan Sash, and Department Chair Bill Maker. With a dedicated space and growing mission, the Rutland Center for Ethics was ready to lead Clemson into a new era of ethical education. By 2004, the Rutland Center began exploring new formats for ethics education. One standout moment came when Clemson alum Jim Rashid returned to campus with his original play Professional Skepticism, a bold performance that challenged audiences to reflect on integrity in professional life. In 2005, Director Dan Weisty published the IAJD Ethical Decision-Making Model, a user-friendly framework that would go on to shape ethics workshops, nursing education, and the STAR model now used at Clemson. Then, in 2006, Robert J. Rutland received the Distinguished Alumni Service Award, the highest honor from the Clemson Alumni Association. It was a moment that recognized not only his generosity, but his lifelong devotion to ethical leadership, faith, and public service. The decade from 2007 to 2017 marked a period of national visibility and institutional growth for the Rutland Institute for Ethics. In 2007, the center officially became the Rutland Institute for Ethics, when Clemson welcomed the Center for Academic Integrity as an extension of its mission. The reach continued to grow as the Institute's online presence matured with a move to clemson.edu/ethics. New leadership joined the team, including Linda Galecchio as Assistant Director for Business Outreach. In 2010, the Institute launched the Rutland Ethics Alliance, deepening ties to industry and alumni. A hallmark of this era was a creative inquiry project led by President James Barker and Director Dan Weisty to ethically revise the NCAA rulebook. This unique initiative was later showcased at the Institute's 10th anniversary gala in 2012. In 2014, the Institute established the Ethics in Action Award, created in honor of President Barker in recognition of the ways he exemplified integrity and honoring the ways he had served as a visionary and advocate during the founding of the Institute. The award recognized individuals who have made an impact in ethical leadership and ethical decision-making. It was an opportunity to celebrate a community member who embodied the moral character we wanted the Clemson student body to emulate. That same year, the Rutland Cup was introduced at the Intercollegiate Ethics Bowl, honoring the legacy of ethical debate. And in 2016, Clemson hosted the Mid-Atlantic Regional Competition, further underscoring the Institute's leadership in applied ethics education. As the digital age advanced, the Institute updated its web presence in 2017, making ethics resources more accessible than ever. In 2018, the Rutland Institute entered a new era of leadership with Dr. William McCoy appointed as director. That same year, the Cherry Braswell Rutland Memorial Scholarship was established to honor the life and legacy of a woman who lived her values with grace, service, and strength. The Institute also launched the Faculty Advocating for the Commitment to Ethics, or FACE, Committee, a cross-college team of faculty members dedicated to advancing ethics across disciplines. And in October, Clemson hosted its first ever Ethics Day, featuring former United Nations Ethics Director Joan Dubinsky, who spoke on global integrity and the risks of political posturing. Original board member Steve Barton also remembers.
It was not until later, when Bill McCoy took over, that we were able to see the Institute in an entirely different application, where student groups all over campus were formed with ethical initiatives. Faculty from all of the colleges have bought in to support the programs and the ethical thrust of the Institute.
In 2019, the Rutland Institute deepened its commitment to ethical education at every level. On March 1st, the Institute launched the first ever high school ethics case competition, welcoming 19 teams from across South Carolina to grapple with real-world dilemmas using Clemson's STAR model. That same spring, students formed Change, creating habits and norms guiding ethical decisions, a student-led committee devoted to college-wide programming and ethical dialogue. In October, the Institute hosted its second annual Ethics Day, headlined by entrepreneur and community leader Dr. Valerie Daniels Carter. New partnerships with Greek life organizations like Gamma Sigma Sigma and Farmhouse Fraternity helped expand ethics education into every corner of student life. Over the past 5 years, Annual Ethics Day has continued to grow, featuring thought leaders like former U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams, Master Educator Dr. Kevin Kumashiro, Acting Associate Director for Science Policy at the National Institutes for Health Dr. Lyric Jorgensen, and University of Michigan Distinguished Professor of Civil and Environmental Engineering Dr. Nancy Love. In 2021, the Institute launched the TIDE Conference, an annual gathering that now draws crowds of more than 900 attendees. TIDE challenges students and professionals to examine ethical dilemmas in their field and envision a more just, respectful society. The Student Ethics Committee Change has grown steadily since its founding in 2019. Representing all 8 academic colleges, Change leads events, publishes the ethics editorial, and helps host Annual Ethics Day and the TIDE Conference. Each spring, Change hosts the now formally renamed Ina B. Durham High School Ethics Case Competition, preparing young leaders to think critically and act ethically. In 2022, the Institute launched the Distinguished Ethics Scholars Program, a co-curricular initiative recognizing students committed to ethics, leadership, and service. Participants earn cords or medallions at graduation, along with a certificate that sets them apart in professional spaces. While the Institute has updated its logos and materials to align with Clemson's visual brand, our values have remained unchanged. Through the Cherry Braswell Rutland Memorial Ethics Award and the J.T. Barton Jr. Memorial Ethics Award, we've awarded proudly over $70,000 to students who exemplify ethical leadership. As we prepare to celebrate our 25th anniversary, the Rutland Institute remains grounded in its founding mission to lead with integrity, foster inclusivity, give meaningful service, and build lasting relationships. We will leave you with a message from some folks who make it happen: Steve Barton and Dick Sargent.
And ultimately, I see the Rutland Institute as being a beacon of light on the East Coast for all of that stuff.
And I think the Institute is able to continue to grow, to get into these business communities and develop the leaders in all areas, whether it's business, whether it's politics, whether it's legal aspects, whatever, then our country's going to survive.